and welcome to this Pilates practice made specifically for scoliosis. We're going to focus on our glutes in this class, and there's one piece of equipment you can have, and it's a resistance band tied tightly around your thighs just above knee level, or you can get those little loop bands as well. You can also do this practice without the band. It just helps activate our glutes a little bit better if they have not been active in a while. So we're going to be having a lie onto our side to start the class. We're going to do 2 movements on our side and then 2 movements in standing to activate each glute. So let's all lie on our left side. Head is resting down. You can use a pillow if you need it to support your head here. Make sure your head is back in line with your spine. We want to check at our pelvis that our hips are stacked one on top of the other. It's very common for the top hip to roll forward. And then to get our pelvis level, place your hand in on the soft bit of your waist and slide it down until you feel your firm, hard pelvis bone. And think about reaching that side of the pelvis away towards your heels. Your knees are bent so that they're just below hip level. When we're set up in your side lying position, think about length the entire way from your tailbone through to the crown of your head. So you're being stretched out as long as you can on the mat. And then we're going to try and maintain that level pelvis and the length through our spine. And we're going to lift our top leg up. Keep your hand on your top side of your pelvis or hip and keep reaching that side of your pelvis away from your rib cage to create space here. Maintaining that pelvis reaching away, just lift and lower the top leg. We're going to go for up to 10 reps. Your glutes might tire out before that. Keep thinking about reaching the pelvis away and try not to let that side of your pelvis roll forward. So your hand can be a help here. If you've got the hang of keeping the pelvis steady, the hand can move up to your armpit. Think about the elbow reaching up towards the ceiling. So creating space in our upper rib cage area or mid back. Last 2 here. I can feel my glute working quite hard. Holding here, we're going to go into our second exercise, or you can take a rest. You're going to think about pressing out through your heel towards the end of the mat and then push your leg back into the band to help activate your larger glute muscle at the back of your butt cheek. Let the knee bend back up again and press back. So this is a kick back. As you bend the knee up, make sure your pelvis doesn't creep up towards your rib cage. So keep that space between the rib cage and your pelvis. You can keep your hand on your pelvis. We've got about 5 more to go of these kickbacks. Or if you want to make sure that that upper rib cage chest area stays expanded and doesn't collapse down, you can have your hand kind of just under your armpit, elbow reaching up towards the ceiling. Last 3. And your last one. From here, we're going to roll onto our backs. Give that butt a rest and a stretch. You're going to place your right foot on your left thigh. And you can use the bands if you need for assistance to pull your thighs in towards your chest. You can wrap your hands around the back of the left thigh. And you're here for 3 breaths, taking a nice deep breath in through your nose, sending it down to the bottom of your lungs. And then breathing out fully through your nose or mouth. Then we're going to roll onto our other side. So everybody have a roll onto their right side. Your head is rested in your hand. I'm going to show you the line of my back and legs from the back this time. So you're going to make sure that your hips are number 1 stacked, one on top of the other. So don't let that top butt cheek roll forward. Use your hand to guide it back. And then make sure that the top pelvis and the rib cage have space. So you're going to place your hand on the top of the pelvis and reach it down towards your heels, creating space between your pelvis and rib cage, creating space through the lower back. Then checking in that your head is in line with the rest of your spine. Often our head like to go forward in this position. And then we're ready to start. Take your top leg up. Keep that pelvis reaching down. It will want to creep up towards your ribs usually. And you're just going to lift and lower here. So as you lift the leg, that pelvis stays reaching down towards your heel. And your pelvis stays stacked. So the top side doesn't roll forward and back. You can have your hand on the pelvis to help give you feedback for this. It is hard to feel the first time you're doing it. You should start to feel your glute waking up now after about 4 to 6 reps. And we're going to try and go for up to 10 to 12, but everyone will be different here. Hand can be on the upper rib cage armpit area, elbow reaching to the ceiling to keep lots of expansion through the rib cage so we're not collapsing down into the floor. Last 3 here. Last 1. Now you can take a break if you need it here. I think I need a little bit of a break. The next one we're going to do is our kick back. Give your glute a pat if you need to. You lift your leg up again so it's parallel to the floor. Check in that that pelvis is reaching away from the rib cage and pelvis is stacked. Press back like your heel is reaching back towards the end of the mat. Push your thigh back into the band to feel your glute activate here at the end range. Some people might need to leave their leg in that end range for a few seconds, 3 to 5 seconds, to help engage the glute. You might also need to poke it with your fingers to get the glute turning on. We have got 5 to 6 repetitions left. If your glute fatigues, please just rest your leg down. Keep reaching your pelvis away from the rib cage. Keep thinking about expansion through the rib cage, bringing that top hand up into your armpit. Think about the elbow reaching up towards the ceiling. Last 2. Pushing back into the band with your thigh at the end of the movement. And then rolling onto our backs to stretch out that left glute. Placing your foot on your thigh. Take a hold of the band, pull the thighs into your chest, or you can wrap your hands around the back of your right thigh. And you're here for 3 nice deep breath cycles, breathing all the way down deep into the back of the rib cage, back of the lungs. Breathing out fully. And then we'll unravel the legs, roll onto our side and press ourselves up into a standing position. If your balance is not the strongest, I recommend having a chair to the right side of you. So we're going to start off loading the left foot first. Your fingertips can go on the chair on the right. For the first one, we're going to check that our pelvis is not rotated. A nice little tip, because it's hard to tell if it's always rotated, is to place your hands on the front of your hips, fingers pointing straight out. And you'll see, if you imagine there was lights coming out of your fingertips, you want them pointed straight ahead. So when you look down, you can usually see that they're rotated. And then you just tug one hip back to get them pointing straight ahead. So try that on yours. So that's to correct your rotation. The second one is to make your pelvis level. So often one side can be higher than the other when we have scoliosis. To try correct this, slide your hands into the soft squishy bit of your waist. Slide down until you feel your pelvis bones. And if you can pick out that one's higher, reach the higher side down until they feel level. So we'll go back to our standing facing the top of the mat. You're going to check that you're in a neutral rotation and that your pelvis is level. They're your two things. Then we're going to fold at our hips. So our hips are nice and low. You can move your hands down onto the hips, fold at the hips, bum goes back behind you. We have a nice stable base in our feet. So try lifting all of your toes and then planting them down firmly and also pressing down into the heels. Shift your weight onto the left foot, and from here we're going to do our tap backs. You're going to try and maintain that non-rotated pelvis and that level pelvis as you do the tapping back motion with the right leg. Your right hand can be on a chair, that's an option. As we maintain this nice neutral and level pelvis, we're going to think about loads of length through our spine, all the way through the crown of our head. And lots of expansion through the rib cage. You can place your hands on the sides of your rib cage and feel it expand side to side. Then bringing your hands up into the armpits, you can roll your thumbs over the ribs in the armpit area. Think about expanding this area side to side and imagine your elbows being drawn out in opposite directions to create loads of space through the rib cage. We should be feeling our left glute muscles working here to stabilize us and to help us maintain this nice neutral level pelvis. Moving on to our last exercise on this leg, we are going to tap the foot back, and from here we're going to push into the left leg, straighten up so we're standing tall, lift the right thigh into the band. When we move the right thigh back, we'll fold at those hips again, keeping loads of length through the spine. And then we'll straighten up from those hips as we stand tall, pressing down through all points on that left foot. Think big toe, little toe, and heel as your main points of contact, like your foot's a little tripod. Again, if your balance is a little wobbly today, just have your fingertips on the chair to the right of you. Again, we should start to feel this glute muscle work. We're folding at the hip as we go down, keeping length through the spine, driving the foot into the ground, straightening at the hip, standing tall by straightening through the hip, not by flattening our back. Last one. Give that leg a little bit of a shake out and we'll move on to the other side. So this time we're all going to ground down through our right foot. I'm just going to move my chair so it's on the opposite side. You can do the same if you're using it. We've got a neutral pelvis. So use your hands at the front, pelvis pointing straight ahead. We want a level pelvis. Get your hands in on the squishy bit of your waist. Slide them down to feel the top of your pelvis. If one side feels higher, reach it down until they feel level. Ground down through those feet. So lift the toes, spread them out, place them down firmly on the mat, and then ground down into the heels as well. We're going to shift our weight onto the right foot. Fold at the hips, so like we're sitting down in a little chair pose, and then we're going to tap your left foot back. So our right foot is our stable base, big toe, little toe, heel, grounding down. We've got a neutral, non-rotated pelvis. And we can check that by having our hands on it. Usually the right side will want to creep forward if the glutes aren't working. And we've got a level pelvis. And our glutes will work harder when we get into that neutral position to keep us there. Otherwise we end up using our back muscles and things, which is not the end of the world, but we're trying to get these glutes kicking in today and take pressure off the back. 3 more of these. You're going to think about loads of length through your spine as you're in this position. If you have the chair to the left of you, you can press down through the chair and think about growing tall from your stable base, your stable pelvis. And then our last movement is going to involve a little bit more hip movement on this right side. So we're going to press down through that right foot. We're going to stand tall, straightening up from the hip. Lift the left thigh up into the band. This makes our right glute work a little harder to keep everything steady. We're going to fold at the right hip, tap the left foot back very lightly, and then press into the right foot as you stand tall. My right glute is working quite hard and I have my fingers on the chair. So if you're doing it without the chair and you can't feel your glute, try it with the chair and see if it kicks in a slightly more supported position. Last 3 of these, thinking about loads of length through the spine, expansion through the rib cage. So we're not going to collapse down over that right leg. We're going to keep the spine long, rib cage expanded. Last one. Seeing if you can balance at the end if you'd been using the chair. And then resting the left foot down, giving your hips a little bit of a shake. And you can untie your band. I'll do that off the camera because it takes a while with these ones. If you've been using it. Well done. I hope you liked your Pilates class, which was scoliosis friendly and focused on activating our glutes today.